So what do retirees need to know?
What's fascinating is that in the last 3 decades, we have seen the failure rate for retirement go up drastically. And a lot of this has to do with understanding the history of what worked in the past versus what are we doing now. I want to talk about this metaphor of Mount Everest and your retirement savings. Pretend this is Mount Everest. Now, if you've ever climbed Mount Everest, you're one of the lucky few, right? More people die going down Mount Everest than going up, right? Because when you're going up the mountain, you're excited, you had your Cliff Bar, you got a great night's sleep, and you've got your eye on that prize. And when you get to the top of Mount Everest, you typically plant a little flag and you made it. And this is where all the mistakes happen. This is where they stay up there too long, they have too many selfies, and they get, altitude sickness. They become tired, they become, out of it mentally. They just want to get back to base camp and climb in their sleeping bag and take a nap. But this is where all the mistakes happen climbing down. They slip on a crevasse or however the heck you say it, and this is where people end up losing their lives. And in fact, Mount Everest, there's a 4% fatality rate. So for every 100 that go up, 4 don't come down. Saving in retirement is a lot like climbing Mount Everest. When you're going up the mountain, this is going to be the accumulation years of life, right? Now, the accumulation years are going to be anywhere between 20 and 60 years old, right? And you're saving money, you're working hard, you're putting money in your 401k, your 403b, your IRA, TSP, whatever. And it's okay if the market crashes, right? Because you have a paycheck coming in. You have time to recover, time to recuperate any losses. But this is really where the danger zone is, right? Which is 5 years before and 5 years after retirement. In fact, Ted Benna, the founder of the 401k, he talked about how in this danger zone, if you happen to lose 20% of your money in a market correction, he said you would never recover it. Now that's alarming because we typically have a bear market where you lose 20% or more 1 out of every 4 to 5 years. That is the average, right? So this danger zone, it's really important you don't make a mistake. Now, this is what begins the decumulation side of the mountain, okay? Now, decumulation is basically from retirement on. And I often joke around with folks I get to interact with that the Sherpa or the financial advisor or the way of investing that got you up the mountain, it's rarely the right Sherpa or financial advisor or way of investing to get you safely down. Why? This side of the mountain requires a different skill set. You see, the advisors and the Sherpas who help you up the mountain primarily only focus on one thing, which is growing your money, right? It's investments, which is good. It is good, but it's often incomplete on this side of the mountain. In fact, if you were to look at what are they doing on this side of the mountain versus what do I need on the downhill side, the decumulation, all they're going to really focus on is growth, right? They're going to focus on growing your money, which is very important, but it's often incomplete. This side of the mountain, you need a lot more than growth. You need long-term care, right? You need longevity protection, because what happens if you live to 90 or 100? Do you have enough money that's going to last you? You need tax strategies because taxes are a big problem in retirement. You may have $1 or $2 million saved for retirement, but not all of that belongs to you. And so having a tax strategy is extremely important. What about estate plan, right? Because you work so hard. What about when you pass? How is that going to go to your kids? Are they going to be super frustrated because you left them with a big mess? Right? We don't want them to be shaking their fists at the heavens saying, curse you, mom, curse you, dad. You left me a big fat mess that I got to clean up, right? And go through probate. Then we want to talk about income planning, right? What about paying as little in fees as possible. All of these different things you need on that side of the mountain. This is where we focus our firm, not just on helping your money grow, that's important, but on this side of the mountain, helping our clients take care of their long-term care, make sure they're insulated from longevity risk so that they can live longer and not run out of money and have to go back to work standing on their feet for 8 hours a day at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. Taxes, we want to make sure your taxes are taken care of and you have a strategy. We're going to cover the estate plan, right? Making sure you've got an income that increases every year to help offset inflation, and then very little, if any, fees when it comes to your retirement plan. So make sure that as you're approaching, especially if you're in this danger zone, that you get an advisor. We can help you, but you have an advisor who can specialize on all of the necessary items to ensure that you have a massively successful retirement, that you're not worried about running out of money, that you're not paying a bunch in fees, that your estate is taken care of. That way you can have complete peace of mind, complete security, and complete happiness.